Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me and coming back for another video. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca and I share with you weekly planning content. And for this video, what I want to share with you is a flip of my January pages in my Hobonichi cousin and share with you a couple of things that worked and didn't work for me in January and some of the plans that I have for February. So if that is something that you want to see more of, please stick around. Okay, let's start the flip. I have gone ahead and covered up a couple of things with little sticky flags because it has sensitive information, and that is something that I have changed this year when it comes to my planning. And a reason why sometimes it's hard for me to film flips for you is because I have shifted my mindset to really write down information in my planner that I need and that I want. And a lot of the times that information is private or sensitive information when it comes to places and things like that. So that is why when I share photos, I also blur things out. And I have been asked about the blurring out app many times, so I will link it below. I want to say that it's called Blur app, just like that, but I'm not really sure. But I will link the app below because that is a great way for us to still share what we want to share with other planners, but also making sure that we're being true to ourselves when it comes to writing in our planner and how we're writing in it, and then also, you know, keeping our privacy. Okay, so to start off, I've shown you before how I have the pockets, still the same, very minimal. I just change out the little deco to match the month. And then here, when I open up my planner, I have a photo of my husband and I, and then a photo of my boys. And then in the first page, I have a ton of sticky notes that I use to mark things in my planner and just to write things out. What did I write here? My planner reminds me on days when I feel like a crappy mom all the things I do right for Andres and Nico. So I just like to leave myself little notes. And it's true. Like, I like to look back at my planner and see the stuff that I've done for my boys, because who am I kidding? There's more days that I feel that I'm not, you know, hitting the mark when it comes to being a mom. Anyway, so then here, this section, I've been using it to keep a track of our academic calendar, and then I have highlighted with Tombow N89 our vacations and trips, and then with pen my husband's travel dates. And then here I also have marked my tracker for my tracker that I'm going to show you, and I like to track my anxiety and my headaches. I'm going to flip to an empty section of the trackers because I do track sensitive information. So I write down here what I'm tracking. So I do track my faith, if I'm being creative, my reading, my social media use, and things like that. So I just write it out here, and then I do little check marks. And that's what I've been doing. Okay, so this is just a little glimpse of my December. This did start in December, so I'll just share with you the December monthly. But I write here highlights of the month. And then this is when I was experimenting. So it was the first month that I used this planner, and it's a little mix of everything. But in January, I tried to keep it more with appointments and date-specific things and a sprinkle of memory keeping. And here's January, so you can see. And then I added here the mail that I was waiting for, and here I added my YouTube uploads, the amount, the total, and then my revenue. And I also started tracking when I posted videos, and I think that's something that I added, that I changed from December to January. That's the only thing. And then now for February, I'm trying to keep it because I am also using an A6 ring planner. I'm trying to keep it more with little daily memories that are things that I do want to document. And then if I have an important appointment, so I do like to keep tabs of when my oldest gets a haircut because his hair grows super fast, and then any doctor's appointments. So those are the type of appointments that would go here. And then I just use stickies to pre-plan my months. Okay, so now let's get into the weeklies. Okay, so now let's get into the weeklies. So this was the first week. I'd never used the Hobonichi cousin, but I have used a vertical layout, and that's how I plan. I'm very comfortable in a vertical layout, especially if it's hourly. So for me, really transitioning from the Wonderland to the Hobonichi cousin wasn't that big of a deal, and I really do prefer the bigger size of planner versus the B6. And I also like that it has a whole section for the 24 hours, even though I don't use the 24 hours. But this was the first week, and I was kind of experimenting, and I took a ton of inspo at the beginning from my friend Julie, and I just kind of replicated a little bit of how she did it. So I added a couple of, tasks that I needed to do on that day. I did a long to-do list here, and then my Sunday reset over here. And then I just went ahead, and we were still on winter break this week. So it wasn't really that structured because the kids weren't in school. We weren't homeschooling. So I just went ahead and just wrote down kind of like memory planning and writing down like important things that happened that day. But I was still, relatively new to this layout and trying to figure things out. So this was the first week of January, and I think I kind of got the groove of things here. I still went ahead and did a long to-do list on this sidebar, but then I also replicated a similar to-do list over here. And what I did is, like, at the end of the week, I do like to have a place where I can just brain dump all the things that I haven't accomplished during the week, and this is my focus for Sunday. So this is kind of how I'm using the layout when it comes to writing to-dos, and the middle part is strictly for scheduling. So I do go ahead and I schedule out first the important things, such as appointments, big events that need to happen that day or that are happening that day. And then I go ahead and I add in, I still kept going with my to-do list up here, but that changes towards the end because I didn't like the cluttered look. I don't like the cluttered look, so I do, I've kind of taken out certain information that I started writing in my weeklies. I've taken it out and added it either to my monthly, or now that I am using a ring planner, in my daily inserts. So this spread here is a little bit more airy in my opinion. The other one was busier, and yeah, I did have a busier week, the prior week, but still, if there's information that I can write into my dailies, I will do that. And that is another reason, that's one of the reasons why I incorporated, I'm not sure if it was this week, I think it was towards the beginning of February that I added rings. But here I was kind of just, still figuring it out, but really not happy with seeing my weeks super cluttered, because then I couldn't make the difference between important events and little memories, and then just tasks and to-do lists. So, it's still at the beginning. We're still, in the second week of January, so I'm still trying to figure things out. And this kind of, is where I really found my groove. And then this is something that I like. So I like it when it is clean, you know, when I don't get overwhelmed with all this stuff in it. And then I think that, you know, this week, so the last week of January, the first week of February was when I'm like, okay, I need to add in another planner. And I wanted to just use the Hobonichi Cousin as my, you know, everything planner. But there were things that I did not like, kind of like the super busy weeks when there was a lot of writing. So this week is when I decided to just split everything and have in this Hobonichi, have it be my, you know, 90% memory keeping planner, and then that other 10% is when I lay out my week and I plug in the important things, and I use stickers for that. So I plug in, I pre-plan, you know, in a way my week. So I do sit down at the beginning of the week and I lay out all the stickers and all the plans that are already set, you know, by day, by time. I also add in the kids' or homeschool schedule. So all that gets put in beforehand. Let me just cover this up and I'll show you what it looks like and get an idea of how I plan and lay out my week. Okay, so this is what my week looks like on Monday. And it is very bare. So I just have down the important things that are going to happen this week. And I have a couple of stickers. I still haven't put in my meals. I do have my social media planning already and the important to-do lists. And then the homeschool activities for the first half of the week, because then the second half just kind of depends on where we're at. So this is how I use it. This is how I use the weekly layout. You can see I still have the to-do lists. That has worked out and I'm carrying it on to February. I had been using the sidebar for to-do lists and meals, but I don't know if I'm going to keep doing meals here actually, because I am doing meal prep in my A6 rings. So I think that, you know, by next week, so the third week of February, I will be able to take this out and just keep it in my rings. But then I do keep using the sidebar for important to-do lists. I am no longer adding the little to-do list at the top. I have all that in my A6 rings, and then here my social media tasks, and then again just all the important things. So at the end of the day, today, Monday evening, I will sit down and write down anything that I want to document for the day, and that'll be it. So that is how I am using my my weeklies. And then let me show you a little bit of my dailies, just because this has super private information, because I do go in and I journal every single day. So let me just show you a little bit of the dailies, but if you want to see it more in detail, make sure to check out my highlight on Instagram with the dailies. I also have a highlight for the weeklies, and then I do share photos of the dailies. I just blur out the sensitive info. So let me show you my dailies. Okay, and here's how I daily plan. So it is really a mix of journaling, gratitude. I was using it for tasks, but like I mentioned before, that has gotten moved to my ring planner. And yeah, like it really, these pages in the back have just allowed me to write about anything and everything. And then I do mark here at the end where I do try and write. I divide the page in 2 days, so I don't feel overwhelmed with a whole A5 page. So then I do have extra pages, and those are kind of like my go wild trip. I'm gonna plan it here. My my notes pages, and in my notes pages I include lists, just random things that I want to still keep in this planner, but not necessarily, you know, journal about or keep it in my weekly. So this is how I'm using the Hobonichi Cousin. I do want to utilize every single section of this planner, and I want to, I will stay in it for the entire year. And one of the things that, I recommend if you're trying to stick to one planner, especially when it comes to memory keeping, is add personal things. Add things that you feel already connected to, because then that will, help you just be a little bit more loyal to that system and keep going with it. Because I did for 2 seconds contemplate maybe leaving this little guy, not so little, this big guy, and going into A6, the A6 Hobonichi. But again, I had already, really written out important things and special things and memories and moments that I just want to look back at the end of the year and have everything here. So that's how I'm going to, keep using the Hobonichi cousin. So it's going to be a memory keeping with important dates and important events. And then my ring planner is going to be more tasks and get it done style of planning. Okay, you guys, well, I hope this flip was entertaining. I hope I was able to share with you useful information. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Okay, guys, I will catch you on my next video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Hey, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful... Hey, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to share with you a flip of my... Hey, guys, welcome...